Hello everyone, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time we were talking to people. What exactly were we talking about? Oh yes, Lily's going away to Scotland. Damn. The moment the bell rings out, a collective sigh of relief comes from everyone. Much of the morning's been taken up by a droning lecture on stoichiometry, a topic entirely unbefitting of the insufferable heat permeating the classroom. Knowing that attempting to teach any more would be an exercise in futility, Muto gives up and begins clearing the teaching materials from his desk for the day. As meaningless banter starts filling the classroom, I notice Hanako getting up and coming to my desk. She's been a lot less withdrawn lately, something which gives me a small measure of satisfaction. Hello, Hisao. Hey, wanna go pick up Lily, then? It's close to the time when she'd need to get going if she's going to make the flight. About that. She said she might be held up a bit by her classmates. I suppose that makes sense. Her class usually gets off a little earlier than ours, so Lily would normally have just come to our classroom. Her class must be sending her off. Yeah, sending her off, not giving her a send-off, which is what I usually hear. Well, never mind. We can wait outside her classroom for once, right? She gives a small giggle, before nodding. The two of us taking our things and leaving for 3T's classroom. We reach our destination. I stop in idle amusement at the scene inside. One of the shorter girls from the class has Lily wrapped in an enthusiastic hug. Her head go no higher than Lily's chin. Her other friends, of which there are several, are gathered around her as well. Lily simply smiles kindly and hugs back. I guess Lily must be pretty popular compared to Shizune's harsh but fair dictatorship of 3-3. Lily seems more like a mother figure for 3-2, to say nothing of her height and looks. Are you trying to say that you want to call her mommy, Hisao? Kenji's pointedly cool demeanor as he packs up his things at his seat in the back corner of the classroom is expected. He's no doubt far from a fan of the fuss being made about Lily's leaving. Looking beside me and seeing Hanako following my gaze, I decide to finally enter the room. Afternoon, Lily. It's just me and Hanako. Hanako withers noticeably when exposed to the din being made around Lily. Try as she might, I doubt she'll ever completely get over her social anxiety. Hello. Lily manages to work out our positions reasonably well, her classmate detaching herself without a second word. A look of slight exasperation is written on Lily's face, though I can't say I blame her. Hello, Hisao, Hanako. Do we have much time before the flight leaves? I give a quick glance at my watch, taking the trip to the airport into account. There is a good 10, maybe 15 minutes left, while still allowing for contingencies. Yeah, we still have a few minutes to kill. I wouldn't worry about missing it yet. Is this Hanako? Uh-oh. I think we've inadvertently become entangled in Lily's social web. The girl is probably part of the legally blind faction of the class, like Kenji, given her almost windowpane-like spectacles. Her short, roughly cut hair gives her a look that fits her excitable expression. Hello, She takes Hanako's hand and pulls it up and down enthusiastically. I really don't get how girls can be so social to someone they only know as a friend of a friend. You're telling me. Ugh. While Hanako exchanges nervous greetings, I look around the room for my short, overdressed next-door neighbor. Try as I might, he seems to have slipped out of the classroom without anyone noticing. For a moment I try to think of possible career paths that could possibly reasonably benefit from his single skill, before putting my mind to more pertinent matters. Lilly seems... That's a good question. I don't know. Spy? He's a little bit too weird for a spy, but then again, that's exactly what they'd like me to think, isn't it? He also has a good finger on the pulse of the feminist conspiracy, so maybe he should be a spy. What's the Japanese spy department called? We have like the CIA and the NSA here. Well, whatever. Lilly seems pleased, if somewhat guarded, about the enthusiasm Hanako suddenly excited from those around her. She might not see it, but Hanako is much less panicked about the affair than I'd anticipated. Shuffling my way through the gaggle of classmates, I eventually managed to reach her. Don't worry, Hanako's fine. Thank you. I thought she might be overwhelmed by them. Don't worry, we'll be gentle. Both of us grimace in unison. Hanako's nervous grin stays plastered on her face as another couple of girls moves in to meet her. It's kind of amazing that even just a month she'd never have been able to cope with a situation such as this. Even when I first met her, the two of us completely alone, she sprinted from the library. So, got everything you need? It's all packed. I just have to go back by my room to pick it up. On the way, and Hanako and I need to change. Guess we better get going then. Hanako? Hanako's head flicks up towards us in a flash, her face rather unmistakably appreciating the chance to extricate herself from the small group gathered around her. Coming. The long taxi ride to the airport is surprisingly pleasant, despite the three of us being rather squashed together to fit into the small back seat. On the other hand, maybe despite isn't the right word. Lilly pays the fare to the driver as we file out, Hanako's eyes flittering left and right. Thankfully, there aren't too many people around, most of them being inside the main building rather than milling around outside. It isn't hard to spot Akira and Hideaki leaning against the fence while talking to pass the time. A large black travel bag, complete with the wheels and a travel handle, leans against the fence alongside them. Hideaki's the first one to notice us, pointing us out to Akira, who gives an over-enthusiastic wave. Hey! I grab Lily's travel bag for her as we go to meet the two, earning a nod of appreciation. I've got all my stuff here. You got yours? Plane ticket as well? Don't worry, I have everything. You? Yep, all ready to go. Not without some problems along the way, I might add. The snide remark has his head roughly dragged down by a firmly clamped hand. Yeah, I kind of sort of forgot it was in my trousers pocket, trousers that I'd put in the wash. Oh no. Don't worry. Did you know that you can print out tickets if you order online nowadays? It's really cool. Hideaki's pained expression says that this wasn't a solution found quickly. It could have been worse, I guess. We'd better start off then. Check-in would be ready by now. Yeah, you're right. There's a certain amount of wistfulness in both their voices. To say nothing of the people left behind, meeting their family again after all these years would be big for them. Lilly? Oh, hey. We actually get to see Hanako's casual outfit. Hanako wraps Lilly in a gentle hug to say goodbye, one which is warmly reciprocated. Lilly and I share a brief hug afterward, each of us saying our goodbyes. Beside us, Akira and Hideaki break off from a small hug and a word or two between them. It would probably look quite nice if it weren't for the almost comical height difference between the two. Lilly, takes a hold of her sister's arm. Once all that needs to be said, farewells is said, the two walking past the huge glass doors. Goodbye, Hisao, Hanako. Get mentioned first. Suck on that, Hanako. See ya. Don't do anything stupid, shorty. Shoddy. We wave at them until they disappear from sight in the throng of people moving about inside. And then we're alone. Well, that's that. I turn to see Hideaki already beginning to walk off. See ya. Oh, thank I didn't actually have to say anything else in his voice. He throws a hand into the air in a manner I'd expect from Akira. And it's just Hanako and I, left standing outside. I rest my hand on her shoulder. She absent-mindedly glances towards the front doors of the building, as if she might catch a glimpse of either of the two before they disappear. Don't worry, the time will pass fast. She hesitates for a moment, but eventually nods. With a scorching heat of summer sun beaming down on us, we make our way to the nearby bus stop. It's almost strange, really. Just when I thought I'd begun to see Lilly differently, she leaves on what almost feels like a pilgrimage to the past. In a way, though, that's just what I've been doing since coming to Yamaku. As much as I may reflect on everything that's happened to me, I really am hardly unique. Everyone has their own circumstances and separate paths to get to where they are now. Yet I still can't really work out how I should proceed. My life may have practically been reset, and I still can't find anything that satisfactorily fills the hole I still feel in myself. Maybe Lily's leaving will be a good thing for me. Without her to lean on, I'll need to do more for myself. I'll have to be there for Hanako as well. It feels strange to have so much changing so quickly after my months in that hospital that seemed to exist separately from reality. But that's all the more reason for me to keep focused. I can't let any opportunity slip out of my fingers in my attempt to rebuild life. Act 3, Present. Present? Present? Present. I rest my chin on my hand as I absent-mindedly look out the window, yet another of Muto's lectures droning on and on as if it were endless. The summer sky is almost alluring in its cerulean splendor. Only the odd passing cloud breaks up the deep blue expanse. This feeling of longing is probably the outdoor side of me yearning to escape. Nikai, could you answer this? That side of me is lost to the past, though. In that case, I think it would use the ane suffix? Correct. Moving on for the suffix for... As my attention towards Muto slips again, I spot Misha giving an enthusiastic thumbs up and nod at her to settle down. It's been a handful of days since Lilly left for Scotland, days which have passed relatively peacefully. Life largely continued as usual, in contrast to what I expect. While thoughts of her have danced around on the edge of my mind since she left, present events managed to subdue them, at least for the time being. So I find myself idly chatting with Hanako, as usual, when lunchtime finally rolls by. Are the later ones in the series good as well? Not really. You're probably just best off sticking to the original. His later books don't live up to it, other than maybe God Emperor. Thanks. I wasn't really sure if... As Hanako steps aside, Steps to the side, I see Shizune stride up in her typical business-like manner, flanked by her ever-present bright-haired shadow. Try as I might, I can't read any hint of their intent from their faces. Shizune's poker face and Misha's seemingly boundless cheerfulness are a devilish combination. Morning, Shizune. Misha. Hi. I accentuate the greeting with a nod to Shizune in order to get the point across. She promptly and curtly returns the gesture to both of us. It's been a while since I've really talked to either of them, but for a while I thought they might be avoiding me, but I eventually came to the conclusion that Shizune really isn't the type to do so. Morning! Shi-chan says that Muto wants to see you sometime. What? Why didn't he just tell me that? Because of the statement, my face contorts as if I'd just eat a spoiled food, giving Misha no end of amusement. Anyone would think you were in trouble, He-chan. You may not be aware of it, but you have the least to worry about out of anyone in the class. What an unexpected vote of confidence? Even Hanako nods hesitantly to affirm the point. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. There was something I want to ask you, though. And what might that be, He-chan? I have a feeling this won't go over well, but here goes. Is there any reason why you and Lilly don't get along? It seems like even a little civility would help both of you in your duties. Shizune's cold stare after Misha happily signs the words stops me in my tracks. In hindsight, I really could have worded that better. Out of the corner of my eyes, I'm sure I see Hanako move back just a little. Thankfully, Shizune notices this and lets her temper dissipate as she forcefully runs her hand through her hair to let off steam. Perfectly on cue, Misha begins interpreting the second Shizune's arms begin to move. I would say that such matters aren't relevant to you, but since you seem to have befriended Lilly... Oh, I'm going to do more than befriend her. She pauses to adjust her glasses, evidently attempting to articulate her point in the best possible manner. While I assume the same of her, I cannot call my own views on the matter unbiased. Suffice to say, we were closer before than we are now. Shizune makes a quick gesture to Misha to stop her from interpreting, then has a quick meeting with her before proceeding. The fact that the two can communicate so easily yet secretly right in front of me is a little disconcerting. Hanako seems to share my curiosity at the proceedings, looking on with thinly masked interest. As they finish off their opaque conversation, Misha looks slightly deflated. I guess her opinion on the matter wasn't followed. Shi-chan says you should ask Lilly about it, as she doesn't want to be the one that gets you involved. Well, I'll just have to ask her when she gets back. At least I got some information out of Shizune. The two have been on close terms, which means they weren't always at each other's throat. Or at least not quite to this extent. I understand. Thanks anyways. With a nod and a farewell, the two break away and walk out the door, no doubt headed straight for the student council room. Could have gone worse, I suppose. Hanako lets out a long breath, relieved at the confrontation's resolution. I can't say I blame her. I'll see you later then? Yeah, I'll meet you in the tea room. See ya. With that, she waves and joins the trickle of students leaving the classroom. Nagai, could I speak to you for a moment? Oh, speak with me. That's totally different. Whatever. Who cares? Delivered in his typical monotone manner. Oh, I've been doing it right. Good job. He apparently decided that I need a reminder to see him already. Eventually, I finish packing up my things. By the time I reach his desk, the classroom is close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking measure of my face, giving an awkward, rather obviously acted chuckle. Ha ha ha. No need to feel guilty, you're not in any trouble. I just want to ask you something I've asked a few of the other students so far. That's something at least. For a moment I thought I thought my maxim of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So what did you need to talk to me about? To start with, what do you think of your progress in this class so far? Good? Bad? I detest that kind of question, and no matter, for a fair amount of time, I try to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay, the work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better on the test than I thought I would. That's a good answer. A correct one, too. Give a slight mental sigh at his satisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment would be a blatant lie. In the maelstrom of thoughts clouding my mind, after learning that I'd be transferring to Yamaku, my school grades seemed utterly unimportant. Being entirely clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me once I actually got here I was hugely relieved when I found out that I understood well enough the schoolwork we'd be doing. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench into the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What would you like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' times? I wouldn't be surprised if you have covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it if you have. I suppose the last year of high school is the time when students would need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I really haven't lent it much thought, compared to my immediate situation. Catching on to my thinking, Muto speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided after all. Maybe pursue one of your talents. He's rather obviously trying to squeeze an answer out of me, and something about his wording makes me suspicious. He didn't really seem intent on asking everybody like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. I guess our marks in his class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. Call me electricity because I just want to follow the path of least resistance. Get it? Am I funny, Mr. Muto? His face brightens, no doubt pleased at the thought of a prize student following his subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I would advise you to think on it, though. I will. Things are kind of settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, and I've noticed that Ikazawa's attendance and marks have improved since you two became friends. Or since you came to be friends. I'd like to thank you for that. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. He gives a chuckle. Ha 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 ha. As awkward as his smile. This guy really has no idea how to act properly around others. Every facial movement seems like an act of careful but misdirected choreography. You could say that having a general idea of who knows whom is part of a teacher's job. Catching himself before he goes off on a tangent, he coughs loudly into his hand. I'm sure you have things to do, though, so I'll stop there. Please do think about where you're headed from here. As long as you don't have to go too long, as long as you don't have long to go before you finish high school. I will, thanks. The brief talk ended. I take my leave. He goes back to fussing with the teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lilly, almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, yet working towards it from such a young age. Yeah, she's like, how old are you guys? Like 17, 15, 16? I don't know. You guys are in like Japanese high school. That's like 17 or 18, right? It's just an idea so utterly irreconcilable with my own thoughts, mired in present day just as they've always been. And the day ends. Walking through the lobby of to the cafeteria, I silently rue my daily routine. Having been completely thrown off. How dare they? It had seemed like a normal day. I arrived in class before most, due to waking early and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria and search for a suitable place to take seat. It's a task made more difficult by the groups of students moving about and busily talking. Gah! A hand pounds my back hard a couple of times, severely winding me. I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focus on my chest, focus my thoughts on my chest in a near automatic reaction. My heart instinctively tightens on my breast, and I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steady in and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. Oh, fuck off, Kenji. Hey man, are you okay? God damn it. Don't do that, you idiot. He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know, but he can fuck right off and I don't give a shit. I give it a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Let's get lunch. Okay. It's good to have some company for once. Huh. Kenji? In the cafeteria? With girls? It's more likely than you may believe. More at 11. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being at anti-feminist lectures. Seems it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing media. Mainstream feminist, fascist media. What is this? News Channel 4? Current events. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So, what have you got for me? Huh? Come on, you've been hanging around Satao and that other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over class. And probably some of the others. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess, you never do it. Not even when you're bored? Really? Fine. Point taken, Kenji. Both of us stopped to have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to that question you asked a couple weeks back, where Lilly's non-Japanese half comes from, that is. Ah, good man, it's Russia. Russia, right? Totally Russia. Scotland. He's visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland? Yeah, that was my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything. Damn it! Do you know what this means? How terrifying news this is to me? I think he's hyperventilating. Oh, man. Ignore this insane ramblings or humor him. I've already checked the little decision branches, and this doesn't matter. Let's humor him. I have no idea what it means. Enlighten me. I just lost 1,000 yen, man. 1,000 yen! Damn, this is the worst day ever. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality? One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. So what did he think? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Damn him. This day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch. Whoa, chill out, man. That's my, girl. Even if she doesn't know it, we're gonna be married. It's gonna be great. She doesn't have to wear white because she can't see it, or something blue. I think she would understand that something borrowed, something new, something old though. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy soy-soaked rice. It only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Why? Didn't your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? Gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decide to get to the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over. So, as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in a place like that? I mean, what's there to see? Grassy plains? That's it. Lots and lots of grassy plains. And men in kilts. I'm not sure which is worse, this food or his worldview. I can feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight. Not that he'd notice or care. It's not that bad. Why do you care so much about her? She's just your class representative, after all. He gives a malevolent chuckle. Ha ha ha. Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I finally found the chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? I tune out of his rambling for a moment as I finish up my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirmed that Lilly is in the Mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here, and I'll describe the scene. I wish I could do otherwise. Lilly's there, walking down the street after school. You're not stalking her, are you? No! Damn, man. I do have some sense of self-preservation. But not dignity or morals or social standards or hygiene or really anything else. Anyway, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? A man in a pinstripe suit. Waves her in, then the two leave just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in... oh. I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exasperation. That's Akira. Let me guess, this man was about average height and had slightly slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot? He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp down another mouthful of cold soup. It seems like you've been more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well. He giggles a little and nods to himself. So dramatically that looks comical. I can't tell whether or not that's intentional, and that fact makes me frown. This is important ramifications, you know. If she really is connected to people like them, we're smart about what we do with this information. We could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. But once he starts rambling into conspiracy territory, my juice suddenly becomes of much more importance. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lilly and her antipathy for Shizune. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, if I do work out what's went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lilly around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and same goes for Hanako. All we do during the lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to check on Hanako after school. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's calmed down with something. Oh, Nikai. I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Muto. He's holding out to me a couple of worksheets that we'd worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikazawa? I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment, I briefly consider the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discard the idea, as it's hard to think of him acting in such a Machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory. Several ideas of why Hanako's been absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. That said, she may not be even sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lilly left, and despite her at least appearing to be normal, I've suspected she's more insecure about it than she's letting on. Eventually I come to Hanako's dormitory. It's simple, brown door separating us. Her room's position next to Lily's is extremely convenient, and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. A door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is briefly taken off guard by my presence. Hi. Ask about Hanako? Actually, this may be a rather fortuitous meeting. Hey, excuse me, do you know if Hanako's come out of her room today or not? She doesn't seem to be answering. Ikazawa is Ikazawa. Her not answering the door is totally normal. That tall foreign girl's the only person she'll ever talk to after all. She gives a shrug off down the hallway, having much more important matters to attend than Hanako or I. Her dismissive attitude annoys me. Hanako must have a reputation as a hermit, a reputation that doesn't seem to outright undeserve it. At least in the time before we met. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting Hanako to come answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Muto said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though I can hear the handle rattling. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look over Hanako as quickly as possible. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I have preferred that to her expression right now. Hi, Hanako. Muto wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automaton, rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get-well-soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. I'm fine. Okay. An awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and wonder that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. Oh, well, dang. Alright. Guys, I think this is a good time. Stay safe. Have fun. Remember that, just because your friend goes away doesn't mean you need to become a hermit. They love you and they want you to, be able to go out and do things and have fun. One of those things is more important than the others. Bye!